normally we report on homestead-related issues, like the garden, which I will talk about that here in a minute because we've got some more coming on, or the impending death and or rehoming of Fighter, which still hasn't happened yet, but needs to. But today I'd like to talk about something that's a little bit of a tangent. The other day, I looked out the kitchen window into my parents' yard and their driveway. So those of you that watch the channel know that my parents live on the homestead, a few yards away from this barn. We're on the other side of the barn. So I looked across the area, across the garden and the chicken area, and I looked into my parents' driveway, and I saw an interesting surprise, something that kind of shocked me a little bit. Let's go check out what it is. Dad, I was talking to the folks here about the other day. I looked out my window and I saw something quite unexpected in your driveway. What might that be?
Well, I bet if you were to swing the camera, a picture's worth 1,000 words, so.
Mom and Dad bought a pop-up camper. Just stand right there and smile and like hold your hands out like Vanna White. Like this was an unexpected thing, first of all.
Right.
This was never in our orbit. This is never something that I thought you guys would do, but it's something that you and Mom had been thinking about doing for quite a while.
Yeah. So the backstory, we used to have we had bought a brand new pop-up. It was probably about 15 years ago, and it was just in a very busy time of our life. We only got it out, honestly, like 2 or 3 times total, and decided, you know what, we can use the money for something else. So we sold it. Mom absolutely got the bug back then. Me, you know, I can kind of go either way with the whole camping scene, but I knew it was something that she really enjoyed and has talked about fairly continually since then. And so it was a couple weeks ago, I was thinking, you know what, Mother's Day's coming up. Speaking of which,
yeah, I know.
Mother's Day's coming up. What could I get my dear wife for Mom's Day? And then the thought of like, well, maybe a vacation. And I actually started putting a vacation plan together, and it just didn't resonate real well with her. And I thought, well, man, she loves to camp. I wonder if I could, the money that I had thought about spending on vacation, it was going to be anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 for this vacation. Can I get something camping-wise that would really just kind of float her boat? You know, something that she'd really like. So I started doing some research, and this thing came up, and it was well below kind of that vacation price point that I had planned. So you kind of get what you pay for. I mean, it's an older unit, but it's still functional. It needs a little bit of updating. There are a couple of places that have leaks. There's some lights I have to change out on it, but nothing terribly major. And really, we just want something that's simple and functional. And I can hook it up to the truck, and there's a billion places to camp around here.
Maybe you can give us a little bit of a tour.
Yes, one room tour.
So you got a screen door, nice.
Nothing but the best. So this is it. What you see is what you get.
So it's pulled out, obviously, right now.
Right.
And one of the first things I noticed, well, there's a couple things I noticed right off the bat. Number one, the very first thing I noticed is AC. Does the AC work?
It does.
It does.
In fact, the guy that I bought it from, how did he put it? He said, it'll run you out. If you get this thing on full cold. Now, I haven't plugged it in here. It really requires more of like a 30 amp connection that we don't have here when you're plugged into a site. That
was actually my next question. Is this thing powered? And I guess the answer to that is yes. Not only do I see an AC, but I also see a light.
Lights, yeah, and there are switches. It came with a little mini microwave. There's also a propane hookup for the stove.
Oh, nice.
There's a fridge. That thing is ratty.
A little mini fridge.
I haven't cleaned it out.
Okay, yep. That's on the list of to-dos, right? Is cleaning out that fridge. Some shelving space. Okay, so not only can you hook up electrical juice, but you can hook up water, it looks like. And if it's cold, you can plug in a space heater.
Right. And honestly, I mean, we've only had it for a couple of days, so there's a lot I still don't really know about it. But a lot of these come with like a propane heater, which this may have, although I'm not seeing one.
Okay, well, either way, a space heater should do the trick if it's
especially
chilly.
For a smaller unit.
So you got a stove, you got a sink. You've got a fridge. You've got an AC.
Microwave.
You've got some decent sized beds here.
Oh yeah.
Are these comfortable is the real question.
Yeah. I mean, you get some comforters on there, pillows.
That's perfectly comfortable. That feels really nice.
Oh, it's going to be fine.
And it looks like camping. That one over there is even bigger.
It is. That is, I guess, a twin
Seems like a twin or a full.
And that's more like, man, that's at least a queen.
Should you want to dine in?
Yes.
I'd imagine a lot of these campers I see that there's an option to include like a table or something. Is that something you have as well?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, underneath these pads here, there's a table.
Oh, look at that.
See that?
Okay.
So that, you know, you set these up like, you know, a little couch. Bring the table up. This comes forward. Bring the table up, and yeah, you got a place to dine.
What does this do, by the way?
So this, actually, when it comes time to lower this, this moves forward.
Oh,
and
interesting.
that comes all the way down. It folds down so that, you know, it just gives room for you to lower the top.
So Dad, when initially I approached Dad about this, he said, there's going to be a ton of work. There's so much work I need to do. Dad, I'm looking around and I don't see all that much work. I mean, clean out the fridge, obviously.
Yeah, the floor needs work.
It's dated upholstery, but who cares?
Yeah, that Mom and I have decided it's the retro look.
Okay, so you're
some people pay extra for the retro
yes,
look.
that's right. Okay.
Now, like this stuff here is really kind of roached out. I may just remove and replace some of this press board stuff that's falling apart. There's a couple of places that have that. And honestly, again, we're not looking for a glamping, you know, a fancy camping experience. We're just looking for something that is functional, that we can go out and enjoy the great outdoors and have fun. You know, we'd like to not just East Tennessee, but I mean, take it down to Georgia,
go up to Michigan,
go up to Virginia, Michigan, wherever.
A new chapter of adventures await.
You know, for old retired folk, this is the time to do it, right?
Some minor updates with the press board, cleaning out the fridge, some cleaning out.
There are some lights that aren't working, so I've already ordered some replacement. The left tail light, I don't know if it's the bulb. I'm just buying a whole new assembly.
One question I was going to ask, so in terms of like the bones of this thing, it's pretty good. The updates that you'll make are primarily aesthetic ones, but are there any issues with like leaking? I know it rained yesterday. Have you had any issues with that?
Yeah, so that's actually something else I've ordered. It should be here. One of the things I've ordered is like a seam repair kit, so that should help over here, kind of behind you. I've literally got duct tape on it right now, which didn't work well when we had the rain.
There are leaks where that duct tape is.
Right, and that's the only place that has leaked. There's another small hole over here. It's situated where actually the duct tape did work, but I'll repair that. So
you're on point getting that seam repair kit, and that should take care of it.
Yeah. So other than a couple of electrical issues, some cleaning, a little bit of seam repair stuff, I may invest in some new tires or wheels. The gentleman I bought it from said they're original to this thing, and
it's pretty old.
It's pretty old, and they're not hugely expensive. So maybe just starting over with the wheels. We're excited to kind of get it roadworthy or camp worthy and get it out.
Well, I'm not only pumped for you guys, Dad, but I'm kind of pumped for us too. I feel like we might have some excuses to
exactly right.
Borrow the truck, borrow the camper,
and you guys, even more than Mom and I, love to get out and about and get your hiking in. Hopefully, it'll get a lot of use for at least a handful of years. I don't know how much life it has left in it, but if we get 4 years out of this thing with multiple families using it.
And you're going to be doing some repairs, and I think that might be fun to keep up with on the channel, is seeing how those repairs go here and there.
And speaking of which, with your viewership, there are probably folks that have
some experience with this.
Anything they want to float in terms of, hey, do this, don't do that.
Any tips? Camper tips, pop-up camper tips? Please let us know, because we're all ears.
Yes, absolutely. Ready to learn.
Well, thanks for giving me the tour, Dad. I'm pumped for you guys. This is exciting. Are you going to keep it open here on the homestead, here on the Ostad? Or are you going to...
For a little while, at least.
While you're fixing it up.
Yep, and getting it cleaned out. In general, no, probably keep it buttoned up.
Okay. Well, I am pumped. This is really cool. Thanks for showing us, Dad.
Yeah, you bet.
I had a few folks ask me how the turkeys have been doing now that they're free, and the answer to that question is they've been doing great. The very next day after I let them out, I walked out in the morning. It was maybe 7 in the morning. It was fully light out, and they were out there with the rest of the chickens. Long story short, no drama. at all. They've let themselves out, acclimated, and they're integrated with the flock. So, hey, there's a turkey right there. Hey, bud. Or lady. I still haven't been able to determine which ones are males, which ones are toms, and which ones are hens. I'd imagine within 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, I'll have a general idea of which ones are which. I have my suspicions. Fact is, I'm very happy with how they've integrated. No problems at all. Only difference between pre-turkey and post-turkey is we go through a lot more feed. The turkeys are hungry animals. See that guy? I think he's a tom. Only time will tell. They've been integrating, and I'm very happy with how they've integrated with our flock. So keep up the good work, turkeys. Thank you. I've got a lot more starts that are ready to go out into the garden. I think I'll show them to you guys on the next episode. Some we bought pre-started and some we started from seed. I think the garden's gonna be in full swing this time next week. It's the end of April, beginning of May. Perfect time, at least at this climate. This is the time to start gardening. So I don't think we have any more freezing days or threat of freezing days on the horizon. So the garden is good to go. And I'm very excited about that. We also have a very cool and big announcement coming in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that because it's very exciting and it's going to change things on the homestead in a very good way. Stay tuned. It'll be a few weeks before we go public with it, but we're all very excited here on the Yosted. Anyways, I'm excited also about that, the pop-up camper. As Dad mentioned earlier in the video, if you guys have any tips or you've lived the pop-up camper life and have some advice for newbie pop-up campers, please let us know. We'd be very happy to hear it. I'm gonna let you guys go for this time. I'll see you either this coming Wednesday or next Sunday, but until then, remember, as always, slowly, slowly.